Two. Hello, hello. We are back with another week of, well, not a week, another episode this week of Launch Codes Football. I'm Daniel.
Matthew.
Yep, the backup's still in. We at
Tom Brady's still here.
the the goats. I know Chelsea's gonna hate that, especially because she's a Colts fan.
I mean, you know how I feel. I don't want this is going to be a big debate, but you know how I feel about in terms of Peyton Manning and Tom Brady.
But
So,
just in gen no, but just in general, just like all the heartbreak Brady did to Indianapolis in the playoffs. Just like couldn't pick any other backup.
I
Couldn't
will.
pick
I mean, I know. I mean, putting on my Peyton Manning homer hat, I will say Peyton Manning has a 3-2 playoff record against Brady. Just Brady has the more wings. So yeah.
but he has the more iconic victories than Manning has. Oh yeah, because he. Oh yeah, he has the one in Indianapolis. Well, both the other two came in Denver. So
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this is a podcast about the current football landscape, not the heroes that we grew up watching. So yeah, we're another week going into week 5. I mean, the first games of October, so it's a good time to, I mean, to kind of keep talking about football, Daniel.
oh yeah, and yeah, week five is going to be. We have one heck of a like display of games. One heck of a just menu of games. It's the first week of bye, so unfortunately, no black and gold this week. I shed my tears. Shouldn't wipe away the tears. Also, no Falcons, Bears, and Packers, but who cares? There's no Steelers. But we do have a couple of big matchups, both division matchups between number one, number two teams in their divisions and stuff. We have returns of players. We have the introductions of new players, new quarterbacks and stuff. So the first game, we have our three games that we want to talk about this week. And seeing that I'm talking right now, let's go with mine first. We will go with the Commanders and Chargers. So for Commanders, they're getting Jalen Daniels back after missing the past 2 weeks with his knee injury. And with the Chargers, we're hopefully getting a better display of what happened last week when Jackson Dart tore them to pieces.
I mean, as a Giants fan, I would not say he tore them to pieces. He played good enough for a
No,
rookie, but he
no,
he not tear them to
for
pieces.
someone who
And
had the
if anything, that defensive line tore that Chargers offense.
no,
But yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, like you said, Daniels is back. You got two of the best younger quarterbacks in the league, and I mean, they're both coming off of losses. I mean, both of them are surprising. I mean, the Giants were winless and starting a rookie quarterback, and they actually upset the Chargers. And even though the Commanders were without Jaden Daniels, they had played well against the Raiders the week before with Marcus Mariota, who's a comparable backup, but they kind of like were very slow out the gate against an Atlanta offense that had been struggling. So I mean, they both want to win here to bounce back. So I mean, you have two probably playoff caliber teams here. So I mean, we're going to get a good matchup of like two teams that we should be probably seeing in January.
I will say this though, with I think with Washington, they kind of accepted that the Eagles are going to take the division at this point. Washington's definitely playing for a wild card. Unless something unforeseen happens, Philly is taking the NFC East. The Chargers are a different story. And the Chargers, they are trying to win this game because if KC plays like they did this past week and they're going to get healthier, Xavier's back, Rashid Rice is going to be back in, I think, after 6 games. So he's going to be back in after next week. They need to build somewhat of a lead if we're about to get the old KC back. And again, that's one of the things painful things with the loss against the Giants. That was a game that was quote unquote the easier game in
Yeah.
terms of the next this week and last week. That was a game that they should have won, gone 4-0, and this week could have been a little not gonna say a little easier, but just like it wouldn't be terrible if they lost this game. If they lose this game now and KC takes their game, we're right back. It's tied again. We're just right back to where we started in terms of okay, it's now going to be a battle between KC and the Chargers for the division, and I don't like those odds for the Chargers.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. I mean, you want to build like that kind of like that buffer zone between them and Kansas City. I mean, right now they have the head-to-head, but they play again in a few weeks, and I mean that's at that point that should be like a healthier Kansas City team. So I mean, I mean I think last week's game, the Giants and the Chargers are going to look back on it like towards the end of the season, especially if they like lose the division by like one game, as like this was the game that we should have won. That's going to haunt us. So.
Well, you talk about division matchups. So we got not division matchups, but matchups to take the division. We talk about the Chiefs. We got The Chiefs are actually traveling to Jacksonville to face the Jaguars. And these are two teams that, well, one of these teams we expect them to be the top of the division. KC, it just, yeah, we make sense. They're going to be competing for the top of the West. Not so much Jacksonville. And I just have to reiterate this point. Jacksonville should be undefeated. The one loss was against Jake Browning and the and the Bengals, which is still saying it out loud is still kind of insane, but it's just the facts of life. This is a crazy
Yeah.
sport and a crazy league. So I think this is a good matchup in terms of we're going to see a Chiefs offense, what they're going to do against a much better defense, and if they can continue on with their with seeing like the productions of we saw from last week and also the week prior with Jacksonville, this is all to me. This is an early statement game. This is a game to say we are a serious team in this conference. We are a team that you have to respect in this conference. They're going against a top defense. They're going against arguably a top quarterback. Yeah, off and so this is the game with Jacksonville. If they win this game, to me, this cements them as we are making the playoff. Like we are seriously trying to make the playoffs and go do something in January. This is a game to really an early October game, an early before a midseason game to put your flag on the landmark of the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, this is I think one of the marquee games this weekend, and I'm really interested in seeing how like Patrick Mahomes, probably the best quarterback in the league, versus this really good Jacksonville defense. I mean, I mean, plus this improved offensive with his improved and healthier offensive skill set around him. So, and like you said, I mean, I feel like this is definitely I definitely feel like the Jaguars want this game more than the Chiefs. Not saying like the Chiefs don't want this game, but I feel like because I mean, everyone we know with the Chiefs, we expect them to be playing meaningful football in December, January, possibly February. And I feel like there's still a lot of people have kind of questions, like deserve questions, and like, is this Jacksonville team for real? And I feel like you said, like Jacksonville really wants to make a statement. If we take down the reigning AFC champion, and this would be like a really big game, I think, just for like internally just kind of building up that confidence, saying like, yeah, we could compete with anyone in this division, in this conference, whether it be Buffalo, Kansas City, Baltimore, whoever. So
It's on the bright lights on Monday night, and I do hope the coach chases off Andy Reid like he did last week.
yeah, I don't know what was happening there. I mean, it's just, I mean, I'm not going to comment just because, again, like I need to learn more about like what was happening over there. But it just seemed kind of odd with him and Robert Saleh, the defensive coordinator in San Francisco.
I think there was accusations that oh he's good at spying on a team or good at getting like spying signals and like all stuff and he took exception to that.
Keep your name out of my mouth. I did hear that. I think that was reportedly what he had said. That's why I do remember that.
I just Will Smith's an icon. From one of the top teams in the AFC South to I guess technically a team that we all thought was going to be a top team in the AFC South. We have the Texans and I'm traveling to Baltimore. Now, these are two teams that no one expected to be in this position at the start of October, with the Texans coming in with one win and well behind the other two leads, Jacksonville and Indianapolis, in the division. And Baltimore, which essentially is kind of playing for their life right now because they don't want to keep digging a hole in a conference in the division with the Steelers. So hopefully, it's going to be interesting to see if Baltimore can pull up the miracle. One team doesn't have a good offense, one team doesn't have a good defense. So let's party.
I mean, it's kind of similar to like last week's game of Kansas City and Baltimore, where both teams are entering kind of like struggling and like their records not being like what we would expect at this point in the season. And Houston and Baltimore is at the same level too, where the winner of this is going to feel like a lot better. Feel like maybe we have another week to kind of keep building on what we've been doing, especially with Houston, because this would be a back-to-back wins. But the loser of this is really going to be like is our season not over? But I mean, like we have to make up a lot of ground. But even I mean, even though like I said, like they make up a lot of ground, I think the Houston, if they were to lose this game, they have like maybe. But I can't even comment that because Jacksonville and Indy have really good records. So yeah, I feel like the loser of this game is really going to be like just another hole in another dig in the hole. And like, can we actually bounce back from this? Because then the loser of this will have four losses, and it's not even like the middle of October. So. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I mean, I don't want to say lose or die. I mean, win or lose. Excuse me, a loser I don't
Loser
want
leaves
to say
town.
I'm getting my cliches messed up. I don't want to say this is like a game that like whatever. The point is that the loser of this game.
His tongue is too spicy for the pepper.
I want to say that the loser of this game. I mean, they're really going to be looking up, and they may miss out the playoffs. And you would not have expected this between these two contending teams who made the playoffs last year.
It's a loser leave town, is what you're trying to say. A loser leave town game.
Can we go back and
It's
edit
okay.
that?
I'm even gonna put you on more to stop right now. Do you okay, who is Baltimore starting at quarterback this week? Who's their backup? Because
Oh,
his name we're both familiar with.
it's not RG3.
You,
Oh,
you
who was? Oh, Tyler Huntley. Is Tyler Huntley still there?
you got one more guess. It's not Huntley. It's someone that won a couple games last year.
Mm.
So
What in that a couple games in Baltimore?
not in Baltimore. He won a couple games for a different team. There was some hype, some small hype around him. It was ridiculous, but it was some small hype. Nope, nothing, no idea.
No, yeah, I don't know. Who?
It's good old Cooper Rush, the
Oh,
Coopster.
oh yeah, with him in Dallas, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Well, I
yeah,
said,
because he came in last week when Lamar got hurt. Yes, yeah,
so I'll say this: like they have a solid backup, Cooper Rush. To me, you have won games in the past with Cooper Rush. That's a team, but
yeah.
this is a different story now. And all I
And that
guess,
Houston defense is really good, I
uh,
think.
all I gotta say is you're gonna feed the king, and you're gonna feed him a lot. It's about to be Tennessee King Envy, feeding time. But yeah, that's I don't know. I think it's gonna be an interesting game. Yeah, good. Like I said, no one expected this to be the Texans and Ravens this October. But at the same time, no one expected, well, I guess we kind of expected the Eagles to be dominant. But how much did we expect? Because the next game we want to talk about is the Broncos traveling to Philadelphia. How much did we expect the Broncos to be good? What was the Broncos? Let's go back in time. What was the Broncos like hype or their story come mid-August?
I mean, last year, I mean, their defense was really good, and Sean Payton finally had a quarterback like that he picked and selected. So, I mean, and Bo Nix had a solid rookie season, and they actually went to the playoffs. They defied a lot of expectations last year. I mean, there was a first round loss against Buffalo, but they made the playoffs. Patrick Surtain Jr. won Defensive Player of the Year. So, I think going into the season, there was some. I mean, because arguably that AFC West is arguably like the best division in football. Um, and I feel like, I mean, last week against the Bengals with Jake Browning, they were able to kind of. I mean, they played well, but it's also like like that offense of Cincinnati was going to struggle. So I'm really interested to see how Denver plays in this game, just because I know we talked about earlier this week how the Eagles' offense hasn't been like the most dynamic part of the team this year yet, but they're still undefeated. And Denver's defense is really good, and Bo Nix had a really good game against Cincinnati. So I'm really interested to see if Denver could actually put up some points against this really good Philly defense, and if the Philadelphia offense kind of get back to like what they were last year, where they were just a juggernaut.
I I'm happy Bo Nix had a really good game Monday night against Cincinnati, but I think you're right in terms of you kind of expected this wasn't gonna be it wasn't gonna be much of a game. I haven't been the biggest Bo Nix guy, honestly, at all. Like, there's times he's shown flashes, but people during this offseason to me were like, oh, they're gonna be awesome. They got Bo Nix now. It's the second year of Bo Nix. It's Nixamania. It's Bo time. And he kind of didn't come out that special. He struggled. Like everyone's talking about Bo Nix. Like Herbert's there and has a Harbaugh. No one's talking about that, but
Yeah. I mean, I will say, I mean, you know how I feel about like rookie quarterbacks and like rookie players in general. I want to see a little bit more, I guess, consistency in terms of the years. I want to see what they do in year two and year three before I proclaim them like a top five quarterback, top 10 quarterback. Not that anyone's arguing Bo Nix was a top five or top 10 quarterback, but I definitely do want to see. I mean, I mean, it's not fair for rookies just because they've only played one season. But I do want to see like I guess like another year or two before I actually proclaim someone as I think is someone's like really good to great quarterback. So I mean, Bo Nix had a good game last week. He started off cold this season, but he had a good game last week as well. I'm interested to see if he kind of built on that against Philly this week.
and for my last pick, it's kind of going off what you just said in terms of having a good game against last with kind of a struggling team. We have your boys in blue, your G-men traveling to Nolans, and I said this because Chelsea has been high on the Bears and Caleb Williams and that whole team, and but I'm not. because I'm generally a hater. Um, but no, like when Caleb had this crazy explosion against Dallas, I think it kind of factory set him a bit because then he had came back and had another good game, and now he's on his bye week. So we're gonna see how Caleb does for the rest of the way. To me, this could be a situation for potentially your guy, new guy Jackson Dart, who this is going to probably be the easiest team he's going to face, at least in his early career, because he has he's going to run to a gauntlet after this. And I give respect to New Orleans. Everyone knew they weren't going to be good, but they've been very competitive. Spencer Rattler he's been respectable. Every game they've played, they challenged Buffalo. The first 2 weeks of the season, they lost um by one score games where they just couldn't get the final touchdown or final points to win the game. They've been a respect well, and we're not going to talk about Seattle. That Seattle game's terrible, which is what I said. So even though both of these teams are not probably going to be playoff teams, I'm sorry. I know you had so much
I
riding.
mean, I wasn't expecting them to go to the playoffs this year. I mean, I'm a Giants fan. I'm also realistic.
I'm a Giants fan, but no, it's gonna be interesting to see Dart against an easy team, and also seeing Jackson Dart without the security blanket of Malik Neighbors anymore. How
Yeah,
much
I
did
mean,
how much does he spread the ball around to the other receivers?
going into the season, the Giants had, for some reason, I mean, I know it's how it's, I guess, organized in terms of like last place facing other last place teams, but the Giants, going into the season had like one of the most difficult schedules going in, despite it being like a last place team. But yeah, and like the Saints game was a game that like a lot of us Giants fans still go like, oh, so this is the one game that we can say, oh, we're going to win this one. Every other game, like, maybe, but I mean, New Orleans. But like you said, like New Orleans has played really well. So I mean, I don't know that's a gimme anymore, just because I know that New Orleans and that the dome in New Orleans is one of the best home field advantages. Like they get really loudy up there, and like you said, like the Saints have played respectable. Spencer Rattler has been respectable. So I mean, I'm interested just because I mean the Giants and Jackson Dart's second game without Malik Neighbors. The Giants have like Darius Slayton, Wanda Robinson, and Cam Scatterable, so they have Theo Johnson at tight end. So I mean, these are plays like I'm very familiar with. So I think they have like some interest. They have. I know everyone's maybe not be writing home about some of the skill guys, but I mean they're solid. They're pros. So I'm really interested in seeing how this game goes about because I mean the Giants defensive front I felt like won that game for the team last week. So if they can continue to generate pressure like they should against New Orleans, maybe they get to like a small winning streak of 2 games and now they're 2-3 and then now they I guess a little bit more respectable. So but then like you said, New Orleans has played really well. Their offense has been putting up some points. So I mean I know the Giants secondary is also weak too. So yeah, this could probably be a pick 'em game, even though going into the season, so the Giants can win this one. So
Well, I say we may not know the Giants' skill position, but we all know Cam Scaboo. He's become the new favorite player of social media. Like some of the he has honestly, I think one of the funniest things I saw. Like there's two types of running back. There's just like these sleek car running backs, and there's like it's just show like Jonathan Taylor or Jameer Gibbs, and then you got the running back that shoves crayons in his nose and just Cam Scaboo just looking for contact.
one of the funniest ones I saw on social media talked about how it was like after the game, and he had like looked like he had like some dirt on him or something, and the comment was like they play at in tough. Where was this dirt? So yeah, I mean, like I like him. I mean, he's an entertaining guy. I mean, he had a great college playoff last season, and that kind of put him on the radar for like the nation. And when the Giants got him, I mean, I was expecting something, but I mean, he's really brought this energy, kind of like with Dart. Where I mean, going into last week before Dart was named the starter, you're like with Russell Wilson at quarterback, you're like, oh, this is probably another loss. But I mean, even with Dart coming in, when they selected Dart as the starter, like this may be a little loss, but at least there's some excitement there. And for them to actually beat a really good team in the Chargers, I mean I mean it really brings some energy, brings some interest. So I mean, I'm just really glad the Giants at least are a little interesting this season. So
Well, that's all we can ask for at the moment. But the last thing, that's all you can ask for, and all Shanahan is asking for is just health at this point. Because all that the last game we want to talk about is the one division matchup this week between, in my opinion, the two best teams in the NFC West. The 49ers traveling to LA to face the Rams. And at this moment, at the time of recording this, we still don't know. Brock Purdy is still his health is still up in the air. We're not sure. He re-injured his toe during he injured his toe during the last week's loss. So again. Shanahan can't catch a break at all for whatever reason, like just at all. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the Rams coming off a no, they come off a respectable win. They again, and Rams are one of those teams where, yeah, they probably should have one more win if the Eagles weren't a wizard on special teams. But this is gonna be another, I feel another really good game. Shanahan versus McVay game. So this will be interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, just one small correction. There is like actually one other division game this week. It's New England at Buffalo. But like going back
Uh,
to San Francisco and the Rams. I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm a big Ram. I mean, I don't say a Rams fan, but like I really like Matthew Stafford. I've always liked him in Detroit. And I like Sean McVay. But I know I mean, and him and Shanahan, like they have like that rivalry because they kind of came up with the same coaching tree. So whenever these two coach against each other, I mean, they typically are two of the best teams in the conference, and they're two of the best minds in the sport. So I mean, and plus, the Rams and the 49ers usually have good teams. So, but like you said, like San Francisco has been kind of decimated with injuries so far. But even then, they've looked kind of respectable, even though they lost last week against Jacksonville. They were competitive that game. They probably could have won that game if not for all the
yeah.
turnovers they had. So I think the Rams would win this game, but I would not be surprised if San Francisco is able to go into Los Angeles and win this one, just because a Kyle Shanahan team's like usually a really good, well coached and good team.
It's just gonna be interesting seeing because a few weeks ago they lost most of the season. How much of a pass rush can they generate again with Stafford? Because if you give Stafford time to throw to Puka, who's been playing like the best receiver in
Oh man.
football, yeah,
Yes, yeah.
and then you have Devontae Adams, who seems I think he's had like three straight touchdowns the past couple weeks. If you give him time, Stafford will still tear you to pieces, which I can imagine Shanahan is wanting to come up with some kind of game plan, but it doesn't matter what your game plan is if the players aren't good enough to execute it.
Yeah.
So it's going to
Yeah, I mean
come.
that's yeah, I'm sorry, Dale.
I say it's going. I'm not. I never go count on San Francisco because at this point they seem like they get as long as they have CMC. Knock on wood. As long as they have CMC, they're always going to be in games. But sometimes when you're going against a team with that can equal at this caliber, traveling to Los Angeles too. You're traveling is a away game for them. They just need to try to keep this close and hopefully win at the end because I can't see them having some kind of 10-point win. I can see just like a 23-24 game. But if this game turns into a shootout, even if Purdy does play, I think Stafford can still. You're not going to win a shootout. There's very few quarterbacks that can win a shootout against Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely feel like the 49ers want to kind of keep this like kind of a close game. Maybe they'll focus on winning the ball. I mean, they have one of the best running backs in the league with CMC. So maybe because you said like in a shootout, the Rams have the skill position and the 49ers are decimated on defense. So I don't think the 49ers want to get in a shootout with the Rams. I don't think they would win that one. But if they can kind of keep it close throughout most of the game and maybe kind of come in at the end with like maybe like a good long drive and kind of keep that offense off the field. I mean, I could definitely see like San Francisco kind of stealing this game just because I mean, Mac Jones, even though he had his struggles after like that first season or two in New England, he's a solid backup. I mean, if you had if I mean, he's a good backup. He's a stronger
He's
backup than
still
like
he's
most.
still he's still serviceable.
Yeah, he's very serviceable. Plus, if Purdy comes back, then that's even more of a I feel like an upgrade. So whoever's starting at quarterback, I definitely think behind Shanahan, I definitely think they could keep this one close with the Rams.
But yeah, those are our three big games to look out for this week. Surprise! I know loyal fans, you are surprised you not picked the Lions and the Bengals. I know that's secretly a game of the week, but we just don't feel like that's going to be that special of a game. I swear,
I mean,
If the Bengals win this game, this
this is the Jake Browning surprise game.
this is your old school golf five interception game.
I
But
can see it.
oh man. But no, we're another week of football. We're happy October, everyone. And you know what to do. You go always find us on YouTube, find us on Twitter, find us on Instagram. Listen to us on wherever you get your podcasts on Spotify, on Amazon, on Apple. Yeah, and always check us on socials. We'll let you know if we ever do something on Twitch. We always try to do something on Twitch every now and then, so we'll let you know. This has been another fun week. Matthew, once again, come in like Tom Brady in '01, backing up for the Guess to Super Bowl. Uh, Yes, I'm gonna call you Brady. Well, it's what's Brady. Okay, quick tangent. Is Brady considered just universally the greatest backup of all time? Because I'm
I mean,
always
I get. I mean, he was a backup. I guess. I mean, other great backups were Steve Young behind Joe Montana.
yeah.
I feel like Tony Romo was a good backup. I know Russell Wilson was a backup behind Matt Flynn for training camps. I mean,
So
I feel. I mean, he's Brady's definitely the most decorated
we
back
can't.
in terms of quarterbacks who started as a backup and then became the starter. I mean, Brady's no question like the most decorated, but he was. I don't know if he was his backup as long as like say Steve Young was.
But the question is, can we get some love for Charlie Batch?
Oh, the Charlie Batch.
The
I
Charlie
mean, he
Batch
bounced
is
around for a lot. He was a serviceable backup. He really was.
yeah. But well, until next time, I'm Daniel,
I'm Matthew.
and we'll be back next week at the same bat time and same bat channel. Have a good weekend, folks.